Good morning. God is the Holy Spirit. What is a spirit? A spirit is something very difficult to talk about. We know it mostly by its effects. The wind, mist, something moving that we can barely detect. But we see for sure what it does. A spirit also is life. We breathe. Without the breath of life, we die. And so the Spirit is the source of life, the giver of life. But the Spirit, more than anything, is what transforms, what makes motion happen. It transforms someone who's timid and living in darkness into a child of light, freed from their sins. And it transforms the walls of division into the open community of the church. Fire is a great image of the Holy Spirit, and an image that God himself chose when he sent down the Holy Spirit on Pentecost in the image of flames on the heads of all those who are praying in Jerusalem. Do you remember your first encounter with fire in life? Maybe some of you do. I remember driving with my father. We were leaving my grandfather's business downtown, and it was approaching evening, and we came on the scene. There was fire trucks out, and we stopped to see what was happening. Well, there was a store burning down. It was a furniture warehouse, actually, about 3 stories tall. And it was just, as I said, approaching evening, so it was getting dark. And at first, all you could do is you could hear it. You could hear the fire inside, the crackling, popping, little explosions going off. And then you saw the smoke rising. And as the sun was setting, the fire leapt out of the top of the roof and began to burn in earnest, burning the entire building down. The firemen couldn't stop it. Well, those walls that day were removed and destroyed. But the Holy Spirit did something so much greater. It removed the walls of hatred. It took down the barriers of division in the world. It gave birth to the church so that we can all come together around the world today as one body of believers in every nation, in every tongue, in every form of expression, giving glory to God. That's something that had never happened before the church was born on earth. Religions had been very tribal, very nationalistic, rooted to a people. Even today we have trouble bringing each other together, but when the Holy Spirit is allowed to work in our souls, the walls of division come down, and the fire of devotion brings us peace and joy in the truth that we are all created in the image of God. Now, do people still speak in tongues today? That's a question that a lot of people have. And what are tongues? Well, it says very clearly in the encounter here in the Acts of the Apostles that the people weren't just speaking gibberish or making sounds or ululations. They were speaking in human languages from certain regions of the world, or that the people who were listening heard that language. So the gift is one of communication. For what reason? To spread the gospel. If not many people today speak in tongues, it's because that gospel has been spread throughout the language of the world, and it can be heard in all the languages. So there may not be a need for us to speak in tongues with each other. The Holy Spirit provides certain gifts at certain times, but not at others. So we have to ask ourselves today, what gift is the Holy Spirit offering us? Are we accepting it? Are we fostering it? Because again, to return to that image of the flames, we have to keep the fire kindled, keep it burning, keep breathing on it, if you will. That means prayer. That means receiving the sacraments. That's how we will keep the fire of devotion burning is to keep the Holy Spirit in our hearts, to welcome it, and to protect it. Because the Holy Spirit's not always a raging fire. Sometimes it's a very soft thing, a very gentle thing, a whisper, a word of kindness, a soft dove fluttering, right? Those are also images of the Holy Spirit. Well, just for a second, let's look at where we've come from to get back to where we are today. The whole journey of the Easter season, which today we bring to a close, to a culmination, to a new beginning. It's kind of like this story. You may have heard of Chippy the parakeet. Anybody heard of Chippy the parakeet? Chippy the parakeet was a very happy parakeet, and Chippy was in his cage just minding his own business one day, singing. He loved to sing. And his owner was a very, very loving, very devoted lady who liked to take care of Chippy's cage. So she was cleaning the cage, vacuuming the cage when the phone rang. Well, she was vacuuming with one hand, turned to pick up the phone. Oh, hello! Chippy was sucked into the vacuum cleaner. Poor Chippy. She turned off the vacuum cleaner, found Chippy in the bag, and rescued him from the dust and the dirt. He had been in the dark, dusty, dirty vacuum cleaner. And she took him out and ran him over to the sink and washed him off with cold water. Of course, Chippy was in total shock. Well, she put Chippy back into the cage and hoped and prayed and looked at him, but Chippy just was not the same. A week later, she got another phone call from the same person who had called before. How's Chippy doing? Well, Chippy's alive, but he doesn't sing very much anymore. He just sits there and stares. Well, one day, outside of the glass, outside of the cage where Chippy was stored, a dove came and hovered outside and began to coo. And Chippy looked, and Chippy realized, I have wings, I have a voice, I can sing. And Chippy began to sing again. That is exactly what has happened to us. We were pulled into the darkness of death, of dust and ashes, of sin, and we died in them. But then Christ, through his resurrection and through our baptism, washed off that dust and dirt and brought us back to a new life. And like the apostles after the resurrection, we were stunned for a little bit. We didn't know how to proceed until Jesus reappeared to them and said, I'm going to the Father to send someone who will come to you. Stay in Jerusalem and pray together. And they did. And the dove came outside of their room, came into their room, hovered over them, and gave them the gift of speech, the gift of song, the gift of praise. That's exactly what's happened to us. That's the whole course and history of the church. And now we celebrate today the birthday of the church. The Holy Spirit, like I said again, is like moisture, like the dewfall coming down. We were kind of like the dry mix ready to make a cake, but you had to add the moisture to really mix it. And now the cake was ready, and it was baked with the fire of devotion, and today we celebrate the birthday of the church. And you can imagine that this cake is not like other cakes. It has the 7 gifts of the Holy Spirit within it, and it is adorned and blessed with the 12 fruits of the Holy Spirit. Now, I could tell you the names of them, but that's kind of like telling you the list of ingredients of something when you have the cake right in front of you. You don't want to know the ingredients in it. You want to eat it. But I promise you, there's nothing to be allergic to in this cake. So what we want to do today is take the cake. It's ready. Take it and eat it. And what I mean by that is to allow the Holy Spirit to work in you. Accept the Holy Spirit. Don't resist it. It has all of the tastes that you want. It has all of the blessings you need. All we have to do is be present and to sing the great song of rejoicing, the the birthday song of the church, the Alleluia. So God bless you all this Pentecost, and may the fire of devotion continue to warm your hearts.